Lanvin Crescendo. Today I am going to be opening a vintage scent which has never been opened. It's still sealed with its original stamp and thread and everything because it's a pure perfume, and it was launched in the late 50s. The date is not sure. On Fragrantica it says 65, but if you look up at the ads have been produced as far as 1960, and if you look up a couple of blogs it says that the scent was launched in 1958. Lanvin always used to have these simple plastic bottles covered with paper, and they were sort of stuck on with glue, and oftentimes I found vintage Lanvin boxes which I've stuck back and then they look good as new. This is a very exciting video to film because I rarely find perfumes which have not been opened, because I see that people who used to buy perfume always, there was this excitement to smell it, because perfume is such it's such an experience. Like, even if you go to buy perfume and sometimes if they don't have a tester and they're like, you have to decide, you know, just by its name, it's not possible because it's an experience. You need to smell it. This is an exception. I'm gonna open the box to show you how it looks. It's in the typical Lanvin format which they used throughout the 50s and 60s, even in the 70s. And here you can see that it's evaporated a bit, and when I was seeing this online, bidding on it, I thought that it was opened because there was a bit missing. But then when I came to get it and I saw the seal, and I realized that it's an unopened bottle. So here you could sort of take it out of its stand. The label, as you can tell, has suffered a bit. The gold sheet, the chemical on it sort of didn't react well to the atmosphere it was in, so it's like sort of rusty. But I thought of printing out a label and sticking it on because I like my labels to look pretty. This perfume has been described as a floral, and this was released after Lanvin's absence in the perfume scene. So their last perfume was around 1937, I think, and then after a couple of years they came with Crescendo, and this was supposed to be their comeback, but then it was discontinued in the 60s. Hence it's quite a rare one to find, along with Scandale and Prétexte and Rumeur, Mycène as well. Arpège is widely available, so that's an easy one to grab. After a very weird end of September here in Paris, it has finally rained today, and feels like fall has finally arrived. Hence I put on my turtleneck and I was like, it's the perfect time to open a perfume. I was watching this video by a makeup artist yesterday, and her name is Lisa Eldridge, and she has a makeup collection which I don't think anyone in this world has. And she talked about how she collects things and always thinks about its owner and its past. And that was a very interesting thing that she said, because I haven't really thought about that, because I always associate the perfume with the era, and I think about the era generally on a macro level, but I never think about the specific owner who must have had this and never opened it. So I thought that was a really interesting topic that she touched on. This seal is stuck on, so I'm just gonna be really careful with it because I don't want it to leave any marks. Well, it left sort of, but it's fine. It's gonna be cleaned up. And it just sort of hangs around it. It's not like the really old perfume bottles where you had to break the paper which was wrapped around the stopper and everything. I'm gonna open it. Ooh. Looks like it has the stopper which they always used to have. Sometimes these were made of cardboard, and sometimes they were made of like this weird resin which would always disintegrate. But this one seems to be good. What I have discovered online is that it's musky floral with magnolia and honey and tuberose, carnation, oak moss. I mean, a lot of things going on. So I'll just find a spot on my hand which hasn't been perfumed. I think this is a good place. And I'll just, here we go. It's always important to make sure that you have a clean nose and you're in an environment where there's fresh air. You can sometimes do this when in the morning when you wake up and you smell something, you can perceive more than the night before. So it's always good to practice those things if you want to smell perfumes for what they really are. Oh, this is beautiful. I don't smell any burned notes. Obviously with vintage perfume there's always this top layer which you can always feel that has left or gone, which can be aldehydes or some citrus notes. I definitely smell the honey. The honey is definitely there. Maybe magnolia as well. And it is quite, I feel like it's gonna get more smoky as time goes on, because tobacco is definitely listed as a base note. This is quite beautiful. And it's different to Arpège and Mycin. It's definitely more softer, because Arpège and Mycin were definitely more on the heavier side, I would say. They're more aldehydic as well. They were sharper. This perfume is not sharp at all. Yeah, I would say it's very powdery. I want to put some more on so you can get addicted. And if it's a really old perfume, you have to hold yourself back. It's the first time I've opened this. And if you contextualize this, early 60s, late 50s, the legends had already come by. L'Air Touton, Frecka, most of Dior's perfumes. And this is a departure from the kind of perfumes those were. Like, some of them were very heady, like Frecka, or very spicy, like L'Air Touton, or very, very dark, like Miss Dior. And this is a different mood. It's a softer mood. Definitely in the 50s, ultra feminine vibe. This is a very sweet and powdery perfume. Actually, I think that I like this more than Arpège and Mycin, because this is powdery and this is floral. This has been a very beautiful experience. I think I'll, from time to time, open this box and give a little whiff and feel great. Why this failed to catch on with the audience is surprising, but if you do study perfume history, it's been a gradual increase in the number of perfumes in the market. Thus, the potential for a perfume to succeed decreased. So the more the market was saturated with a perfume, the lesser the chances it became for even a big perfume from a big brand to succeed. But it's all very interesting at the same time, because these perfumes do exist for us collectors to explore, and if we find them, if we're lucky enough, then we can appreciate the art. We can forget all about the sales and whatnot, and I think this is a beautiful example of that. I hope you enjoyed this first unboxing video that I've ever made. Maybe you can look for Crescendo who knows, you might be able to find it. Sometimes something pops up and some seller is willing to depart with a few pieces from their collection, so it's always good to be on the lookout and always be hopeful. Hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next video.